Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Farhan, also known as Gunner since 96, and you're watching my match day preview, where I will be talking you through the upcoming fixture in the Premier League. Newcastle playing Arsenal at the St. James, I don't know what it's called nowadays, whether it's still called what's the company that my man owns? Wow, Sports Direct, that's it, Sports Direct. Sports Direct Stadium, is that where it's being played? Awful start to the video. St. James's Park, it says here on Google, so I'm going to stick with that. St. James's Park, where Newcastle, who are struggling still, well no, actually, tell a lie. They're not struggling at all. They're clear. They're 16th with 36 points. Fulham have got an incredible task of trying to get out of that bottom three. I don't think they will, to be honest. Newcastle are home and dry. The way I see it, with 5 games to go, or however many games they have, it's 5 games to go. 36 points. They only need 3 or 4 to, be absolutely certain that they won't get relegated, and they play us. What better opponent to play than Arsenal to get more points? I'll sit here with not much confidence at all going into this game after the shambolic display of football that we saw on Thursday. But nevertheless, we can't skip this game. We can't brush it under the carpet. It has to be played. And so this will be an opportunity for Arteta to try and regain or gain. I don't think we've had any momentum on our side for the last however many games that we've played. I can't remember the last time we won a game of football in the Premier League. Who was it that we beat? I don't know. I think Sheffield United. I think after that, we haven't won. Wow. Incredible. So, Newcastle versus Arsenal. I'm going to start off by giving you some team news, talking you through who's likely to miss out from injury. I thought that we were through with our injury problems, with the amazing work that Bruno and the physio team have been doing of late. They've managed to bring back a lot of absentees quite early on, ahead of schedule. Aubameyang's back in full training. In fact, they're all back in full training, but the people who are the players who are likely to miss out on this game because of fitness and just being cautiously monitored on their injuries are Lacazette with a hamstring problem and Kieran Tierney with a knee problem. They are back in full training, like I said, but obviously getting back to fully fit, getting back to full fitness is the most important thing. But, I'm hoping that Arteta treats this game like a warm-up to the Villarreal game on Thursday, because we're all going to be watching that. That's the most important game. He needs to use this game as a platform for getting these players fully fit. It's as simple as that. I don't want to see any more BS starting 11s. None of this false 9 crap. I want to see some proper starting lineups with meaningful selections. Newcastle, on the other hand, are on a roll. They don't have that many injuries. The last time they played us, they had everyone missing, and now they've got all of their, pretty much the majority of their starting 11 back, other than a few back 4 starting 11s, a few senior important back 4 defenders in Shaw, Hayden, Lascelles. Darlow not so much, but Shaw, Hayden and Lascelles, I would say so, very much so. Having said that, despite missing out on those players, they've still managed to grind out some really good results. They took a point at Anfield against Liverpool recently. They beat West Ham, 3-2. They beat Burnley 2-1. They drew to Tottenham 2-2. So these are fairly respectable results, and it's helped them climb up the league table. And actually, you know, I think it will be interesting to see now, actually, how many points they're behind us. I don't think it's that many. We have 46, they've got 36. Only 10 points behind us. Wow. They could still overtake us, potentially. I know I'm being overly sarcastic today, but I don't really know how to approach talking about this game other than with a bag full of sarcasm. Seems like that's been our season so far, just a massive sarcastic joke. But when I look at their squad, I look at a competent group of players who are good at doing their job. Well, some of them anyway. So the players that I look at: Danger Men, Saint Maximum, Almiron, Joe Linton to some extent, Shelby to some extent as well. Longstaff hasn't been terrible either. Callum Wilson, let's not forget Dwight Gale, who's come back from a long-term injury. Thankfully, Joe Willock won't be allowed to play against us, so that is a positive. That's something we can take already from this game. If we lose, at least, well, there's no excuses if we lose, because this he's got 4 goals, I think, this season for them in 7 appearances, something stupid like that. So he's been ridiculously good. He's also recently changed his bio from Arsenal to Newcastle. Happy days. Happy days. This football club doesn't surprise me anymore. You know, they don't amaze me with some of the BS that goes on. And I wouldn't be surprised if we lose tomorrow. I go into this game with zero confidence, and I almost think we deserve it. We deserve to lose. We deserve to be where we are. We deserve to be kicked out of the Europa League, and we deserve to be a mid-table club. We deserve to be categorised as a mid-table club. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Because I'm a man of just and fair. I forgot the other word that I'm looking for. I like to say it how it is. I don't like to dress things up. Arsenal have been piss poor this season. My patience with Arteta is wearing very, very thin. Some of the players that we have, it's been shambolic. But I also have a little bit of sympathy, because that game against Villarreal midweek was a massive learning curve for everyone, especially Arteta. Playing that false 9 was awful, terrible. A mistake that he's not going to be able to go back and repair. So, it will be interesting to see what happens in this game against Newcastle. How we approach it. We already know what kind of game that Newcastle will play. They will be out of the blocks very early on. They will not be interested in sitting back holding possession. They probably will sit back for the most part and allow Arsenal to soak up the possession, allow Arsenal to hold the ball and for them to soak up the pressure and then hit us on the counter-attack, because they've got some blistering pace on the counter-attack with, like I say, Almiron, Saint Maximum, Shelby, Longstaff. Very good players. They usually play 5 at the back as well. And when they played against us in the FA Cup and they played 5 at the back, it worked. It really did. Took us into extra time. And then they reverted back to 4 at the back in the Premier League. And then we battered them, basically. So I'm expecting a tough game. Here I am talking about having a tough game against Newcastle. This is the reality. This is the reality we find ourselves in. I'm going to give my predicted starting lineup, I should say. In goal, I'm going to continue on with Leno. He did a fantastic job against Villarreal to keep us in the tie. You know, we owe him a lot. We have to give praise where praise is due, and we have to really give him our gratitude for the performance that he put in on Thursday because, like I said, we're still in the tie. So Leno starts for me. On the right, I would like to see the continuation of Callum Chambers. He didn't have the best game on Thursday, but I still believe he is our strongest and most competent right back, aside from Cedric. But, you know, Cedric has other plans. I have other plans for Cedric, so I don't want to see him play on the right-hand side. Out of him and Bellerin, I'd like to see Chambers play. Very good offensively, pretty good defensively. At the back, centre-back. Now, David Luiz is back. He's been in training for a while. I want to see David Luiz play with Gabriel at the back. Before his injury, they were our number one selection. They were our first and foremost centre-back partners that we were going for. I want to see them play tomorrow. And I want to see them really get back on top where they left off from. Because we need them on Thursday. It's as simple as that. I don't want this Rob Holding, Pablo Mari BS nonsense anymore. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. All right. I've gone on long enough. I've defended this crap for as long as I can. No more. David Luiz has been our best defender this season. He's been our best centre-back, if you believe it or not. That just tells the story in itself. And he's had a few fraudulent moments this season already. So, but having said that, like I said, our strongest centre-back partners are those two. So I want to see David Luiz and Gabriel at the back. Left back. Now, this will be interesting. This will be very, very interesting. I'm going to make this argument again for the 5 millionth time. I understand why Arteta and why people would prefer to see Xhaka playing left back. I get the logic. He does a pretty good job. He's left-footed. He naturally covers that position anyway when he's playing centre mid. So it's not such a bad idea to play him there. But if you're preparing for a game against Villarreal on Thursday, I don't want to see Granit Xhaka playing there. Okay? I want to see him playing centre mid where he performs well and far better than he does at the left. If you're looking for a left back who can defend, put Cedric there. Because I don't need to see a ball playing left back when I've got the likes of Pepe, Xhaka, Partey, Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe. The list goes on. You don't need your fullbacks to be so involved in the offensive play when you've got these types of wingers. You don't need it. You don't need overlapping runs. Because guess what? You've got enough skill and ability on the wings for them to overlap themselves, for them to get and drive into the box. You've got enough quality in midfield for the balls to be fed in any direction that you want them to feed the ball into. Don't know if that made any sense. But ultimately, what I'm getting at is fix this back four tomorrow and use the same back four on Thursday. Tomorrow is a warm-up. That's the only way I see it. There's nothing to gain in the Premier League. So tomorrow's game has to be a warm-up. Has to be a demonstration of what we're going to do on Thursday. So Cedric has to play left back for me. There's no other option. Tierney's not going to be fit and available. And if he is, give him the last 25 minutes and then play him on Thursday. But we need to go under the impression that he's not going to be fully fit and he's not going to be ready for Thursday. So go for Cedric. Centre mids, very, very easy for me. There's only two at the club who can do a good job, and that's Xhaka, who just about does a good job when he's sat next to Partey, who isn't dilly-dallying around the pitch in the 75th minute, having 30-yard screamers, losing the ball in the middle. You can't lose the ball in the middle. I'm sorry. I love Partey. I think he's a great player. But when he does things like that, question marks have to be raised and alarm bells need to be ringing. Don't lose the ball in the middle. Keep your focus. Okay? I feel like the Arsenal DNA, this is the Arsenal DNA, I'm afraid, is slowly creeping into Partey's game. When he first came, he was brilliant, faultless, 90 minutes of focused football. Now, misplacing passes, getting tackled way too easily, overcommitting himself. I'll be watching him very carefully tomorrow. But like I said, our most competent midfielders, Partey and Xhaka. 3 at the back, 3 behind the striker. I think Odegaard had a terrible game. Maybe I'm being a little bit unfair to say he did a terrible game. He wasn't effective enough, and I think he was a passenger, fair to say, against Villarreal. So it's difficult because I want Odegaard to be up to speed. And I get he's a bit rusty, but I want him to have those minutes so that on Thursday he's ready. But who do I see being more effective and more of a danger and adding more quality in that final third? And if I'm being honest, I think it's I think it's Emil Smith-Rowe. I think I'd like to see Emil Smith-Rowe play in the number 10 role because of his link-up play ability and just his overall movement. I mean, I get Odegaard is great with his passes, technically gifted, has that eye to open defenses up and get players in between the lines. But I need someone who can cause the defense a big problem. The agility, the movement, the quick feet of Emil Smith-Rowe is something that can't be made up for Odegaard's passing range and just his overall movement on the pitch and positioning as well. I want someone like Emil Smith-Rowe playing on Thursday. So I'd like to see him in the number 10 role. Right and left, very simple. You got Saka on the right hand side, Pepe on the left hand side, and playing up front is Aubameyang. Because if Lacazette's not available, if he's not fit and ready, then Aubameyang has to play. He needs to get as many minutes under his belt as possible. And then you have to look. This is it. This is crunch time now. It's game time, guys. Time to get our game faces on. Okay, none of this BS about he's not fit enough. Well, get him fit. Get him fit. All right. I know it's easier said than done, but that semi-final on Thursday is the biggest game of our season. We've been saying it over and over again, but this really is the biggest game of our season. If we lose this, game over. So get Aubameyang playing against Newcastle. We're not playing against, with all due respect to Newcastle, we're not playing against a Leicester or a Leeds or a Everton. You know, it's not a mid-table side who can cause us problems. That's what we are. We're a mid-table side now. We're playing against a side who's fighting relegation. So play Aubameyang, get him as many minutes as possible. Martinelli, for me, sits on the bench, comes on when he needs to. I don't think there will be any plans of playing Martinelli, starting Martinelli on Thursday. Willian as well. But there are options on the bench. So that's my starting 11. I think Arsenal will need to perfect their game plan tomorrow. They will need to be ruthless and they need to restart and they need to play the football that they were playing before Everton and Fulham. You know, I'm talking about the speed, efficiency, getting the ball in the final third as quickly as possible. Running rings around teams, high press, high energy, high speed. This is the kind of football that I want to see. This is the kind of football that Arteta has implemented. And so it's troubling to see why they can't turn up against teams like Villarreal in the semi-finals. Again, I don't know if it's a mindset thing, a mentality thing, who knows, but we'll find out. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Oops, sorry about that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't and hit that bell notification to be notified every time I release a video. I'll be back again tomorrow for a post-match reaction, given my reaction to hopefully an Arsenal victory against Newcastle. Something that we can take some confidence going into Thursday. Again, I don't think that made any sense either. But until then, stay home, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.